I would want to do the same thing I did last time because I don't want to jinx myself. But you know what? I don't really care because this is the time when we get to feel good here on the Mafia Minute because the Bills are coming off of a big win against the Broncos in the wild card round of the playoffs. I am Magnum Mills here with Jamie G, and we are going to be breaking down that game. It's not time to move on to Baltimore yet. First, we have to break down what happened against Denver. Thank you very much for checking out the Mafia Minute presented by CZGAP Fantasy Football. You can find our content wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube. You can find us on social media at CZGAPFF and on the web at MafiaMinute.com. Nice and easy to remember, just like the flaps, FLAPS. Follow, like, and please subscribe. If you had fun, please make sure that you've hit the thumb. Jamie G, how are you doing after this win? I know it had to be probably just a touch tense early, but for the most part, it should have been one of the easier watches of your Bills playoff career, I would think.
Well, it it was nerve-wracking to start. However, I never doubted it, and I think that as the game went on, I started to get more and more comfortable with the Bills' ability to execute and just how dominant they've been in the second half of ball games, and that continued. So it was awesome. 31-7. It's not typical that in a playoff game your starting quarterback goes out with time left in the fourth quarter because you're dominating that much. Um, hey man, we don't take it for granted. We don't take it lightly, but we love it. It was an awesome environment on TV. I wish I could have been there with all my brothers and sisters in Bills Mafia, but they represented, man. What a great day for football. What an awesome watch. Yeah, go Bills, man. 31-7 in the playoffs. We'll take it, baby.
Nice little slipping of the humble brag in there about the backup QB seeing snaps. We like sneaking one in there. And before we get into the game review, let's see if we have anything for the Bills on parade, the latest Buffalo Bills news. We don't really have much here that's not either related to the Broncos game or the upcoming Ravens game. I will say that we were both curious to see how the Bills snaps would shake out on offense after getting everybody healthy for once. Here's how it broke down. Jamie G at the running back position, Ty Johnson and James Cook both played 34 snaps. That's 45%, almost split it down the middle. Ray Davis played 7 snaps. That's 9%. So if he had left with a concussion, you might think that might have crept up a little bit, but pretty much an even split here between Johnson and Cook. At wide receiver, Matt Collins led the way. He played 52 snaps. That was 68%. Keon Coleman played 46. That was 61%. Shakir was at 40, which was 53%. Curtis Samuel played 30 snaps at 39%. And Amari Cooper was at the bottom, played 27 snaps on offense, 36% overall. And then at tight end, Dawson Knox led the way with 46 snaps, 61% overall, the offensive snaps. Kincaid had 29, that's about 38%. Quentin Morris had 5 snaps, down at about 7%. So didn't look like you went to tight end that often, but you did go to the jumbo package a fair amount here. Alec Anderson was on the field for 22 snaps. That's 29% of the offensive snaps. So I think that kind of spoke to how it played out for the Bills there, right? Does any of this surprise you here? Knox out snapping Kincaid, Cooper being at the bottom, and Samuel out snapping Cooper. Any real surprises there?
Think this is more about their effectiveness they had in the run game and the fact that they were going to stay balanced and run the football a lot in this game. And when you look at Matt Collins, one of the best blocking tight ends in the league. When you look at Keon Coleman, fantastic blocking wide receiver. When you look at Shakir, he does so much and makes it. Curtis Samuel is a part of the game plan. You look at Knox, one of the better blocking. Dalton Kincaid can block, but you'd rather go Dawson Knox from a blocking inline tight end standpoint. And they love this jumbo package with Alec Anderson. They use it a lot. I think they use it more than any other team in the league, but it works. And when you look at that split between Ty Johnson and James Cook, yeah, Ray Davis with the concussion kind of affected that. But I also think they got to a point where it's like, hey, we're up a lot. James Cook has got over 100 yards. He's dominant. Let's let the other guy get some looks here. And I think that was more than anything. But you're talking about a team that ran the ball very effectively, threw it when they wanted to, and had success there. But I think the game plan in this one was we're going to control the line of scrimmage and we're going to run the football. And I think that these numbers and these percentages and the snap counts reflect that.
I was so sure after you say, James Cook had done enough. I was positive you were going to say we should let some of these other guys cook. I was really waiting for you to double up on the cooks there, but that would have been too many cooks in the kitchen. And we're going to save the Raven stuff for the next episode. But just as a tiny tease, the Bills have selected their official legend for next week, and it is none other than Ryan Fitzmagic. So that gets you excited, Jamie G. Was that a good selection?
100%. I hope he goes out there shirtless. And I just got to say, man, they are absolutely killing it in the playoffs here for their selections. First up, last week, we had Kyle Williams, who's just a literal electric factory. He was awesome. That dude gave some of the best pre-game speeches, get you fired up in the huddle type guy, man. He was unbelievable. I loved him as a player. Awesome to have him back and do that. Fitzmagic is going to be incredible, and we're going to need it, man. We're going to need it in this division round. Can't wait for that. Nice little sneak peek there.
Yeah, hopefully you can just stick to the sideline. You don't need him out on the field for anything, as interesting as that would be to see. Let's get into the game review, starting with the injury report, which thankfully isn't too bad. We did have kick returner, punt returner Brandon Cordington miss the wild card game. He has a hamstring injury. You saw Khalil Shakir, Ty Johnson out there in returns. They did a good job, but as of right now, consider Cordington questionable for the divisional round. And then Ray Davis left the game with a concussion after taking that nasty hit. He is currently in the concussion protocol. He is also questionable for the Ravens matchup. I would say this one's probably closer to doubtful than questionable. He took a monster. You see these guys take longer and longer to clear it, but it is what it is. If he's not out there, you have to find a way. Maybe Frank Gore Jr. gets a bump up here for the playoff game. Jamie G, any thoughts on these injuries here? I mean, you got to be pretty happy that it was only the Ray Davis. Never good to get anybody hurt, but considering the Bills' history here, it could have been worse, I guess.
Yeah, and for a minute it looked it. I mean, early on in that game, you saw Taron Johnson go out with what looked to be a concussion or a neck. He came back and finished. That's really good news. You saw Alec Anderson go out with a leg calf. I think he came back and finished. Look, Ray Davis has been an important part of this offense. That's a big loss for us. I know and I trust in James Cook and Ty Johnson, but it's really nice to have Ray Davis come in there and do some of the dirty work that he does so well, and some of the more physicality to the running game. So it'll be a big loss for us, but I'm sure the Bills will have a plan. And yeah, thankful that we're knock on wood heading into the divisional round relatively healthy.
Yeah, and it sucks missing Cordington, but I thought Shakira and Johnson did a pretty good job there on the return. So it's nice to have guys like that you can turn to if you need to, because Cordington's been very solid. A nice little pickup there before the season. That one has actually turned out pretty well. So good job on the front office for that one. And Jamie G, I have to say, I think you did a pretty good job on your final score prediction. You had the Bills winning 31-22, and by golly, gee darn, you nailed that 31 right on the number. And the Bills won by even more than you thought. Nice easy cover, 31-7. So I don't want to really jinx it here. We'll just knock on the proverbial wood, say very good job. Hope you can keep it up next week, but we are not to that yet. We are now at the part where I'm going to need you to lay your keys out for us, JBG. You know my keys. Before the game, you gave us your keys to victory for the Buffalo Bills in the wild card round. Now it's time to bust out that red Sharpie, go in, give a grade to those keys. Jamie G, tell us how you did.
Yeah, man, we said number one, we're going to stay emotionally balanced. I think this is a pass. I mean, I don't want to bleed too much into the next key, but things did not go great early on. But the Bills never blinked, man. I mean, they had the one, couple of missed plays. Josh missed a couple of throws that he hasn't missed all season. A little bit of nerves, I think, but they never really lost focus, and they didn't seem to get too low when things weren't going great, nor did they seem to get too high when the game was in hand. And that's about as emotionally balanced as you can get. I'm really proud of them. They gave up the busted coverage on defense on that first drive, and then after that, they really locked in and played well. And offensively, it would have been really easy to get frustrated and get emotional over the fact that they were moving the ball but not getting points. They didn't. They stuck to it and ended up working out. Key number two: be ready to get punched in the mouth early. Hard pass. We definitely warned you guys. The Broncos scored first in each of their last three losses, and we reminded you that Sean Payton would dig deep in his bag early in an effort to gain an edge. The Bills took the early punch after the Broncos, opened with the scoring drive with the long pass to Troy Franklin. Looked to be a busted coverage on the back end of our defense. Then the Bills also survived the trickery after the Broncos successfully executed a fake punt, which I was screaming through the television. I can't believe Coach McDermott didn't hear me. Watch for the fake punt. I mean, I knew it was coming. So they survived it. I'm going to give this a very hard pass. Key number three: put the offensive pedal to the metal and dare the Broncos to keep up. Again, this was a pass here, Mills. The Bills scored 33 straight unanswered points after the Broncos scored the first touchdown in the game. Thanks to the defense, the offense didn't have to push it that good. We told you, if the Bills score 30 points, They're going to be really difficult to beat, and they'll likely win. If that's not worth the passing grade, I'm not sure what is. Maybe two dots and a squiggle. I don't know. That's a grade nowadays, I hear. Key number four, make Bo Nix prove he can perform when it counts. This was also a pass. Bo Nix was not the reason the Broncos lost this game, but after the first drive, he just didn't do enough to keep up, and the team didn't do enough with him. He avoided the turnovers, only took 2 sacks, but you aren't going to win many playoff games going 13 for 22 with only 144 passing yards. The pressure got to him, may not have resulted in sacks, but it forced him off his spot, forced him to kind of rush into some throws, and in the end, they weren't accurate throws. He added 43 rushing yards, made a few impressive throws, but he ended up just being another rookie quarterback to lose on the road in the playoffs. Future's bright for him, Broncos fans. He's going to be a good one, but it wasn't enough here against the Bills.
Yeah, he didn't quite have that Jaden Daniels gear in him, but it was a little bit worrisome to see him come out so hot on that first drive. But after that, again, kind of somewhat expected it, and the Bills took care of business, did exactly what they have to do. I think those grades are very good there. We can go ahead put that one up on the refrigerator. That is a nice report card. Now it's time to see how you did with your predictions. You were coming in hot. You had 3 predictions for us. We do our predictions Buffalo wing style, so we have a mild prediction, a medium prediction, and a hot one. Jamie G, how did those go in the wild card round?
Yeah, man, coming in with the mild that's got a little bit of heat and a ton of flavor, baby. And this was a pass. We said the Bills will record 2 or more sacks. Boom, passing grade. It was 2 on the number, but hey, we got there. We also had 4 quarterback hits for what it's worth and a lot of pressure. And we told you that Bo Nix had been sacked at least twice in each of the Broncos' losses this season. That statement is still true after the wild card round. Great job by the front four getting pressure, and also a little bit of blitzing here and there to rattle the rook. So good job by the defense there. Our medium, in typical Bills fashion, the medium has some heat. It's like a hot in other cities. The Bills will rush for 115 plus yards as a team. Grade A plus. The Bills rushed for 210 yards on 44 carries with 1 touchdown. That's 4.8 yards per carry. It's also 44 rushing attempts compared to only 26 pass attempts. We told you that the Broncos had only won a single game when their opponent rushed for 100 plus yards since week 5. And that trend continued here. This was the 4th time in the last 5 games that the Bills have rushed for at least 130 yards. Kudos to that running game. It was on effect there early and often. Coming in hot here with all the heat, Josh Allen will account for 3+ total touchdowns. This is a fail, but it's a fail that doesn't really matter. Josh Allen had 2 passing touchdowns, and that was it. And we would love to make it hot in here, but we'll take our 2 touchdown passes, our 24-point victory, and a healthy quarterback every day of the week and twice on Sundays. If the Bills needed another touchdown, Josh would have found one. He didn't, so it's technically a fail, but it really doesn't feel like a fail at all, does it? I mean, come on, let's be real here. I'm okay with this one being a fail. He also sat for the last 5-6 minutes of the game, so you never know. But I'm okay with what he did here. But yeah, technically a fail. 2 out of 3 ain't bad though, Mills, is it?
It's enough to get the victory, and that's really all that matters. Again, if they had pushed them, maybe the offense would have gone another way. But when James is cooking like that, you don't need a lot of other people in the kitchen. Just clear out, let him do his thing. Anything else in particular about this matchup you would like to highlight before we get into our awards?
Just shout out to the Bills offensive line and the protections up front and the communication between Josh and the offensive linemen. That was a ferocious front four. They really get after the quarterback. They did get home once and sack Josh. It's not easy to sack him. They did get one done, and that's a credit to how good of a defensive front that is. But I just want to say I thought our offensive line did an outstanding job in pass protection, and the holes were there in the running game. So shout out to the offensive line. I thought they really won that game and won that matchup. That was one of the key matchups we talked about all week is how are they going to fare against a team that really gets after the quarterback. I think they came out with flying colors in that one.
Yes, they did. They acquitted themselves quite well. And a lot of people on the Bills acquitted themselves quite well. So it's going to be tough to choose, but that's your job, Jamie G. I'm going to need you to dig into this wild card game, find your one favorite moment, the Mafia moment from this wild card victory over the Broncos. I know there's a lot of options, but what are you going to go with?
Plenty of good ones worthy here, Mills, but I got to go 4th and 1. It is 7-13. All right, it's 4th and 1. This was a moment in the game that changed the game in the Bills' favor. 4th and 1. And you're thinking Josh is just going to scramble, pick up the yards, but he goes for it, cuts back, buys time, points, does the thing, and just creates Josh Allen magic and hits Ty Johnson in the end zone on a sliding touchdown pass where he catches it and makes sure his feet are up, even though they're technically out of bounds and not touching the ground until his elbow, and the ball was secure. Incredible, incredible throw, incredible catch, incredible moment. Bills go up there and they get the 2-point conversion. It's now 21-7, and they never look back from there. That felt like the moment that the Bills won that game, and it was absolutely incredible. Just pure Josh Allen magic, man. Just awesome.
He's got that Mafia magic, but the question is, will he take home the Mafia MVP? Once again, I think we have a couple of good contenders here, Jamie G, but there can be only one. It's a Highlander situation here for the Mafia MVP. Who is taking home the trophy for the wild card round?
Yeah, Josh is absolutely worthy, but I'm actually going to give it to James Cook. I thought he was absolutely incredible in this game. Really, I should be giving it to the offensive line, but I can't give it to 5 players, right? So I'm going to give it to James Cook. I thought he was excellent in setting the tone in this game. He was fired up. He is a different player than we saw out of his first year or two in the league. He really has arrived, and in a big way, man. You can tell the physicality, the intensity, the desire. His run into the end zone was outstanding. Set the tone all day. Big reason why we were able to and I'm not saying control. I'm saying dominate the time of possession. It was unbelievable how lopsided the time of possession was for the Bills from the Broncos, and you're just not going to be able to beat this team if they can do that. And so I don't care who they're playing. So shout out to James Cook, man, really setting the tone. He was outstanding in this one.
He's been setting the tone all year. You'd think we were doing a Shorzy thing here. On the season, Josh Allen has won the MVP 7 times. James Cook has won it 5 times. No one else has won it more than once. So just goes to show you how good he has been this season. We very much like what he is cooking up. So we would like have some seconds here. Please and thank you. And we might even want to have some seconds with our Bills bets because we did a okie dokie last week, Jamie G, despite not having maybe the fullest menu on the board when we recorded. I hit my Bills bet. I had 100 Bills bucks on Josh Allen to have over 276.5 passing plus rushing yards, the combo meal there. I turned my 100 Bills bucks into about 191. Jamie G, you went with your classic wager. Josh Allen over 1.5 passing touchdowns. That was minus 105. Easy money. Go ahead and collect. You turned your 100 Bills bucks into about 195. We also had a tripod, a 3-leg single game parlay on this one. Unfortunately, we only hit one of our 3 legs. We hit the Josh Allen over 1.5 passing touchdowns. We got a little greedy going to that third touchdown, the Josh Allen anytime. He did not score by land or by air there. He did not score by receiving or rushing for a touchdown. And we had James Cook over 1.5 receptions. Was not even targeted on the game, mostly because they didn't need him. So we did not win our tripod this week. Overall, we are still doing decent here. We are up about 72. Yep. Overall, we are doing decent here. We are in the green, just barely. We're up about 72 Bills bucks on the season. Jamie G is pacing us. He is up about 269 bucks on the season. We're basically breaking even on our tripods, and I am down about 197. So trying to get on a heater to end the season, finish with everybody in the green. That's the goal. And if you were playing over on DraftKings and you were listening to us, you probably did pretty good. We told you at captain, you either want to have Josh Allen in there or you want to have James Cook in there. Either one of those would have got you to where you needed to go. We highlight our favorite value plays as Ty Johnson and Curtis Samuel. Again, hit on both of those. Both of those guys found the end zone. On the opposite side of the ball, we said maybe go with Bo Nix or Marvin Mims Jr. The right answer probably wound up being Troy Franklin, although Bo Nix didn't kill you. Then again, he got a little bit tricky when you got down in there. You needed to probably have Curtis Samuel and Ty Johnson in there with Cook and Josh to really win a big one. But if you just had a couple of those guys in there, you didn't need to do too much else to win in your smaller tournaments, your cash games, your home games, some of the smaller stuff we have fun doing. And we also have fun with our guy, the tailgating legend, the Mafia Mannequin. If you've ever seen the movie Major League, this is a similar concept here. But in that movie, they started out with a clothed mannequin and removed something every time they won. Here, we started out with basically a naked mannequin. And every time the Bills have won the game, we have given him an article of clothing. We've given him an accessory. We have done something. for him every win. Our guy started out with just his Bills boxer shorts. Since then, he has added a ton of stuff, including from top to bottom, a chicken wing hat, some aviator shades, the beard of Ryan Fitzmagic, a nice platinum diamond chain, a Freddie Jackson jersey, a Zubaz cape, some Josh Allen money socks. He's got a pet ocelot named Babu. He's sipping on some Labatt's. He's got some Zubaz cans. He's also got a little bit of Buffalo Trace and a bowling ball to drink it out of. If he's hungry, he's got a grill going. He's got some wings from Duff. So everything is looking good for the mannequin. But Jamie G, we got to add something else after this one. What are you leaning towards this week?
Don't get me wrong, Mills. Babu, the pet ocelot, is an awesome drinking buddy. But you know what? We got somebody coming to town as a Bills Mafia legend. He's got to show up early and tailgate and get ready to go into that stadium. We're gonna put Ryan Fitzpatrick, give me Fitz Magic, hanging out with the mannequin, slamming some beers, tailgating. Let's add a little fun to this tailgate. Fitz is going to be there anyways, man. Let's have him pregame his responsibilities in the stadium with our mannequin and our ocelot, having fun, deleting beers, getting ready for the Bills game.
They can delete beards and compare beards. So that's
Yes.
they might find some similarities there, like a brother from another mother situation. So we will be there for that, and we hope you will be back here for our preview of the divisional round matchup against the Ravens. That will probably come out on Friday, so make sure you check it out. Thanks again for checking out the Mafia Minute presented by Caesar Gap Fantasy Football. You can find our content wherever you get your pods and on YouTube. Find us on social media at Caesar Gap FF and on the web at mafiaminute.com. Simple and easy to remember, just like the flaps, FLAPS. Follow, like, and please subscribe. If you had fun, please make sure that you click the thumb. I'm Magnum Mills here with Jamie G, who is going to get you pumped up not only about the victory over the Broncos, but start getting you ready for this huge upcoming divisional round matchup against the Baltimore Ravens.
Hey. Oh man, let's go Buffalo. How amazing was it to watch our Bills get another home playoff game and win in dominant fashion? Guys, this is, if those of you that have been around a long time like me, you know it doesn't come easy and it's not guaranteed. Let's enjoy every second of it this week. Walk with a little extra swagger, knowing we get to play one more time at least. Enjoy it. You guys were awesome. Rest up. Take your vitamins, drink lots of water, get ready because Sunday night's gonna be nuts, baby. I cannot wait to break down the Ravens preview with you and watch our Bills take on Baltimore at home this time. Let's get it. Go Bills. Where else would you rather be than right here, right now? We'll see you guys on the next one. Go Bills.